Alright, what's up everybody? The video you're about to see is another example video of kind of what we do with our elite members video area for our elite members. And what it is a basic student questions video. We encourage all of our students to ask questions. We take a lot of those commonly asked questions and we'll add them into videos each week. And this one you're about to see is Student Questions Episode 1. They're really basic, simple questions, but I feel they can help a lot of traders, so I wanted to make it available to the YouTube channel to hopefully help you guys if you had a similar question and to give you an idea of some of the videos we add to our elite members video area. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions at all, as usual, tannerstrading@gmail.com, and make sure to like and subscribe the video. I'd really appreciate that. So again, hope you enjoy the video. Alright, what's up everybody? This is another video for the Elite Members Video Library. And what this one is going over, this is going to be a continuing series of where we answer a lot of common questions we get from students. And I got a fantastic email today from a specific individual that had a lot of really good questions that I felt would be good to share with the group, good to go over, because I know they've been recurring questions. So we're going to jump into those. And going forward, feel free to shoot me any questions. A lot of them we can answer over email. We don't need to do a video. Some of them, though, I feel like could be great for other students or maybe more complex. We can break down a video, and I'll try to get out a student questions video every 1 to 2 weeks with anywhere from 3 to 6 questions, and hopefully that'll be able to help you guys as you go forward with your trading education. So to start with this one, we're going to try to go quickly through these, but we'll try to be as in-depth as possible. Question number 1, is it an acceptable practice to have a profit target of 100, 200, 300 instead of a percentage? So is it acceptable to have a dollar profit target instead of a percentage profit target? Meaning I want to target $200 for my profit, then sell and get out no matter what the percent profit is. And here's my answer. Okay, it's a little more complex, excuse me, than a simple yes or no. The problem a lot of people can fall in, the trap a lot of people fall into when they do dollar amounts, okay, is they have a small account. Let's say they have $1,000 in their trading account and they say, you know what, no matter what, my profit target is $200. I want to get, if I don't get $200, I'm not exiting this trade until I get 200. Now, obviously, you're not going to be that individual because you've trained yourself to have a stop loss in place. But some people will say, you know what, my profit target is $200. No matter what, I hit 200, I exit the trade. Some people do the same thing with percentages. They say, you know what, no matter what, my profit target is 20%. And until I get 20%, I'm not exiting this trade. Now, the problem with that is trading is dynamic. We need to learn to be dynamic in our trading. A lot of times we can have a profit target of 10%, but we notice at 6%, 7%, the stock is starting to show weakness. The indicators are turning against us. It is okay under every circumstance to exit a trade before your profit target when that happens. So let's get that out of the way first. Even though we have a set profit target, that doesn't mean you always have to hit that profit target and exit. The chart a lot of times is going to tell a different story. Secondly, you can utilize basic dollar amount targets, but they need to be essentially identical to a percentage. If you have a $1,000 trading account, setting a $300 profit target in each trade is unrealistic. That'd be just like setting a 30% profit target, which, let's be honest, is unrealistic for a lot of trades and for every trade. Each trade is going to be different. You don't want to have a blanket $100 profit target for every trade you make. Just like we don't have a blanket 10% for every trade we make. Every trade is different. Some trades can give us 20% and we have a 20% profit target. Some trades give us 5%. So just like, let's stick with that $1,000 account example. Let's say you're trading with let's say you enter a stock with $1,000. Okay, that's how much you go in with. And your profit target, you're working on a percentage basis, is 10%. Now let's flip that over and say you're working on a dollar amount. You could just flip it over if you want to think about it in pure dollar amount. You could say, okay, my profit target is $100. Okay, if I hit $100, I'm going to exit this trade. Or let's say your percentage target is 20%. That would be a $200 profit target. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? So either way, whether you use a percentage or the dollar amount, it's going to end up being the same because you are a dynamic trader. You don't want to fall into the trap of no matter which trade I make, my profit target is $200. Okay, no matter the trade, no matter the circumstances, no matter the chart, it is $200. When I hit 200, I exit. We don't want to fall into that trap because every chart is different. Every trade is giving us a different story. Okay, every trade tells a different story, and there's going to be a different percentage and a different dollar amount that you can target. So again, if you want to switch it over from percentage to dollar amount to think about it and to visualize it a little differently, you can. But either way, it's going to be the same. Okay, whether you use a percentage or whether you use a dollar amount, don't fall into the trap of setting blanket targets of 10% no matter what or $200 no matter what. Okay, I hope that helped you a little bit. It could seem complex. If that didn't answer your question, shoot me another email. We'll try to go over it a little differently, but I hope that did. Basically, the gist of it is every chart is different. Every chart is going to have a different profit target. So we don't want to set generic percentage targets or generic dollar amount targets. Okay? Question 2. How many trades should we juggle at one time? Now a lot of that, excuse me, is going to depend on your account size. If you have, $1,000 account, remember we talked about this, we don't want to use more than 25% of our account in one trade. But there is the one exception. If 25% of your account is less than $500, you would utilize $500. So if you had a $1,000 account, you'd be utilizing $500 in each trade. So you could technically open 2 trades, 500 in one, 500 in the other. 2 trades would be perfectly manageable. This isn't a big issue with those who have smaller accounts because you realistically can't enter more than 1, 2, or 3 trades. Now, those of you who may have a larger account, let's say you have a $50,000 account. Okay, you have $50,000. 25% of $50,000 is $12,500. Now, if you're breaking it down, let's get down to pure mathematics. If you're breaking it down and entering the max amount, you're entering 25% in every trade. Remember, that's the max amount you can enter. Then under no circumstance should you be in more than 4 trades. Okay, because that would add up to 100% of your account. With that said, though, we're not going to always enter 25%. Some of you will take 10%. Some of you go a little smaller. Because if you have a very large account, you're not going to throw in 25% of a $200,000 account into certain small cap stocks. Okay, so with that said, my personal recommendation, I try not to have more, generally speaking, for newer students, okay, for newer students especially, try not to have more than 2, maybe 3 trades going at once. Now with swing trading, it's a little easier for us to manage our trades because we have our profit targets that we've set, but again, they're dynamic like we discussed, and we have our stop losses set. So it's very simple. We enter the trade, we set our stop loss, and we let the trade do its thing. When you're day trading, it can be more of an issue, and day trading is where we see people have more of a over trading problem. Okay, they jump into 3 trades, and when they're day trading, everything is faster, everything is much more ramped up, the emotions are more extreme, the chart moves quicker, and so if you have 3 trades going on at once, you're going to end up making a mistake, and it's going to end up hurting you. When we're swing trading and we're looking to hold these trades over multiple days, a lot of times it's okay to have 2 or 3 trades going at once. We clearly understand them. They're moving at a slower pace because we're looking at it from a daily perspective, not a 15-minute, 5-minute, or 1-minute perspective. So again, as I said, a lot of it's going to depend on your account size. If you have a smaller account, you're not going to have more than 1 or 2 trades anyways. A lot of times I prefer not to have 100% of my account in the market at once. And this is speaking from a larger perspective on the market. The last thing you want is to have 4 trades at once, okay, each at 25% of your account size, and the overall market sees a massive pullback. Like, for example, when we had the situations in China and with the interest rate and the Dow falls 1,000 points. And when you have those big falls, even if they're not related to the small cap market, they can affect it and pull it down with you. So, or pull you down with it. So you don't want to have 75 to 100% of your account for those who have bigger accounts. You don't want to have 100% of your account in the market at once, because if the overall market takes a massive dip, even though you could have 4 really great chart setups, everything looks good, they could come down and your entire account could get hurt. Okay, so I would recommend try not to put more. I mean, this is a high number, but try not to put more than 75% of your account at once in the market as a whole. Okay, and that is high. Some people would say try not to do more than 50% of your account, but I know a lot of you have smaller account sizes, And it's a little unrealistic to only be doing 50% when you have a $2,000 account, and you could have a lot of good trades. So just to review, again, it's going to depend on your account size. If you do the max 25% per trade, you should never have more than 4 trades going, but we don't want to have 100% of our account in the market at once if we can avoid it. Again, a lot of you have smaller accounts. You're not going to be able to avoid that. But for those of you who have bigger accounts, try to avoid as best you can having 100% of your capital in the market at one time. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. I know it's a little complex. Trading questions aren't always black and white. A lot of times there's a lot of variables. It depends on what your account is, the dollar amount you have in your account. And so again, smaller traders, try to avoid having more than 2, 2, maybe 3. Larger traders with bigger accounts, same thing, 3 to 4 at one time. If you get too many trades going, you could kind of fall in the trap that a lot of day traders fall into, make a basic mistake, not be able to give as much attention at once to a certain trade, or heaven forbid you have a situation where you're not setting. Some brokers, unfortunately, don't let you set those stop losses. You're having to use them, you're manually going in and having a mental stop loss, and all 4 trades turning into at once, and all of a sudden you're not able to execute them all quick enough, and you end up getting burned on 1 or 2 of them. So try to remain 1 to 3 trades at one time, and avoid that urge to always be in a trade. We talk about that a lot. You don't always need to be in a trade. The market's not always going to be giving you a trade. We've seen that a lot where we had a good run. For example, a few weeks ago, we had 5, 6, 7 trades that saw good moves. Now we're entering a phase where the market is kind of pulling back slightly. There's not a lot of buying opportunities. What do? We sit on our hands and we be patient and let the trades come to us. So that is question number 2. Last question. Question 3, excuse me. And this is a really common question. What would be a good monthly profit target for my overall account? This is a question from another individual. What would be a good monthly profit target for my overall account? And this is going to be, again, unfortunately, somewhat of a complex answer. I'm a huge advocate of setting goals, whether it's in your life or whatever, school, doesn't matter. Set goals. Set goals that you may even seem slightly unrealistic. Okay, because you want to push yourself. Now, it shouldn't be so unrealistic that you can never attain it. You shouldn't have a goal, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. Okay, a lot of people do that. They want to be a millionaire in a week from trading. That is unrealistic. In your life, set goals, because what it does is it pushes you. You have that goal, you've written it down, and you have a target of what you need to get to. And every day, you read that goal and you push yourself to get towards it. Okay, that's in life in general. With that said, trading is a very complex world because of your mind, because of the emotions. There's a lot of things that you can't control. When you're in school, you can control how well you do. You can control how much you study on tests. You can control how much of the homework, how much time you spend doing homework, and how much effort you put into that. Those are all within your control. When you're in trading, you can't control what the market gives you. You can't control if you have 3 or 4 trades available each week. You can't control if you have a perfect setup and then all of a sudden the overall market collapses and you get stopped out at 3 trades for losses. So just like we talked about in our trading course, try to avoid focusing on a big picture dollar amount. Try to avoid saying, you know what, my account is at 2,000. I want to be at 3,000 by the end of this month, which by the way is an incredible percentage gain. But try to avoid doing that. What you want to do is focus, have a goal to make good trades. We talk about the 1 through 5 system. Have a goal to get 4 and 5s. Have a goal to get trades where no matter what, I'm going to honor my stop loss. That would be a good goal to have. No matter what, when profit is there and it hits my profit target, I am going to take it, and if I'm going to let it run, I'm going to implement a trailing stop to protect my downside risk. Those are the types of goals you can set. Try to have trades that are in the 4 and 5 category. And if you don't remember what that is, you can jump back. In our trading course, we talk about that, the 1 through 5, okay, trading scale. You want to rate yourself off a 1 through 5 scale. You don't want to judge yourself off how much money you are making or aren't making. Because like I said, the market, it's the wild, wild west sometimes, and there are too many variables you can't control. So as weird as it may be to say, as a huge advocate of setting goals and monetary goals in your life, it is difficult with trading to set specific monetary goals. And I've learned through experience that when I focus less on money, when I focus less on making a dollar amount, and I focus more on making good trades, and I focus on the individual trade in front of me, and managing and controlling what I can control. I can control my stop loss. I can control my profit target. I can control the trades I enter. Does it have a good setup? Is everything going in place? Do I have a 3 or 4 buy signal? Is the setup there we talk about? Those are things I can control. That's my goal. Get the best setups possible, control what you can control, and manage the trade to where win or lose, it is a 4 or 5 on the rating scale. Okay, I hope that answered your question. Again, a lot of times people will they can be, I don't want to say unrealistic because anything is possible, but a lot of people will come into trading with a very small account, and they'll have this dream, which I think it's great to have a dream, but they'll have this idea of, I have 2,000 now, I want to be at 100,000 in a month or two. And that would be fantastic. Again, anything is possible. Oops, screwing up blank. Anything is possible. I'm not going to say it can't happen because it has, but it is a very slim chance of that happening. So don't set yourself up for failure right away by coming into this with these incredibly high expectations. Don't even think about the money at first. Focus on the trades. Focus on what you can control. There are a lot of variables we can't, but if we focus on what we can control, we'll have success, and you'll be able to eventually get to that point, that goal you ultimately had of being a self-reliant, independent trader, self-employed individual. That's the ultimate goal for most all of you that I've spoken to. You can get there. You just have to stay focused, control those things you can control, manage your money well. Don't go out there and just throw your money into every trade. Make sure to continue your education and continually practice what you learn. Paper trade as long as you need before you feel comfortable jumping into trading. So I know I rambled a bit there. They were complex questions. They seem simple, but they were more complex. There's a lot more to it. I hope these helped you a little bit. Really, a lot of these had to do with your mindset in trading, your emotion. I hope that helped you a little bit expand that understanding of the emotion and address these questions in depth enough for you. If any of you have any other questions related to this, some things maybe I didn't cover well enough, as usual, shoot me an email, tannerstrading@gmail.com. If you have any questions that you want me to add to the student questions video for next week, shoot me an email. If I can't answer your question over email, I will throw it in the student question, or if I feel like it's a great question for everybody, I'll throw it in next week's video, next week's student questions video, and we can help everybody together and learn and grow together. Again, any questions at all, tannerstrading@gmail.com, and have a great night.